Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. You know that feeling when a real emergency hits? Your adrenaline completely spikes, panic sets in, and honestly, logic just kind of goes right out the window. Time gets weird, right? Even simple stuff suddenly feels like a giant puzzle. Well, today we are doing a simulated beta test of the First Aid Responder. It's an emergency readiness companion tool that's built specifically to cut straight through all that brain fog. We're going to see how it helps manage critical health info, gives first aid guidance, finds nearby care, and handles the really high-stress situations. Imagine you just got early access to this software. How does it actually hold up when every single second counts? Let's take this beta tester's journey together.
All right, so here is the quick game plan for today. We're going to run through the ground rules, set up the digital health pass, find some nearby care, test out the SOS dispatch failsafes, and look at the readiness checklist. Basically, we're navigating the core features just like you would on your own phone, shifting from a calm, peacetime setup right into a full-blown crisis simulation. But hold on, before we even look at a single button, we absolutely have to establish the golden rule of this entire explainer. This beta is absolutely not a substitute for local emergency services or professional medical care, period. An app is an amazing companion for guidance and organization, for sure, but it will literally never replace dialing 911 in a real crisis. We've got to keep that reality front and center as we test today. Now, to make sure we're testing this safely, we are sticking to a strict rule of 3 for our data. Check this out. Do not enter real patient records, do not enter real medical identifiers, and definitely do not enter sensitive health information. I know, it is incredibly tempting to just plug in your real blood type or allergies to see how it looks, but we have to keep our real-world data totally out of this environment to avoid any accidental exposure or privacy messes down the line. Okay, with those guardrails locked in, let's check out the main setup. The digital health pass is really slick because it adapts perfectly to whatever device you happen to be holding. You get this nice, expansive tablet layout for managing the whole household, and then this streamlined vertical mobile view for when you're out and about. It's designed to surface the information first responders need immediately. Oh, and here's a real game changer. It uses offline aware states, meaning if a storm knocks out your cell service, you still have access to all this vital info. That is absolutely crucial. Notice how the fields for blood type, allergies, and medications all just safely say not added. Normally, yeah, you'd want those comprehensively filled out to help the medics, but for our beta test right now, this is a perfect visual confirmation that we're actually following our own safety rules. And honestly, it's great to see that leaving things blank doesn't break the formatting or throw up distracting error messages. That's exactly the kind of stability you want on a software beta. Moving right below that, we've got the vitals tracker. Even without entering any of our real sensitive stuff, this module is totally active and testable. Check out that simulated heart rate, just a steady 72 beats per minute. It's huge, it's bold, and you can read it instantly. If things are completely chaotic and a paramedic is literally looking over your shoulder, they can grab your physical status in a fraction of a second. All right, let's shift gears. Say a simulated accident just happened, and we need to move from passive tracking to an active scenario. You open up the hospital finder, and the map instantly isolates your location and filters out nearby care facilities. The visual design here is everything. The map pins are super clean. It purposely strips away all the random noise. You're not seeing gas stations or restaurants, just the places that can actually help. Less visual clutter means way less friction when you're panicked. And the route action flow, it's basically engineered for someone whose brain is maxed out on adrenaline. You just can't navigate complex menus in an emergency. The app respects that by breaking it down into a simple 1, 2, 3. First, search by facility, like a hospital, clinic, or pharmacy. Second, view the distance, like, oh look, Central Hospital is 1.2 kilometers or about 5 minutes away. And third, just hit start navigation. It takes all the terrifying guesswork completely out of the equation. But what if things escalate? What if you're stuck and you need help to come directly to you? That's where we jump to the SOS dispatch module. Now, really put yourself in that headspace for a second. You are incredibly stressed. Your hands might literally be shaking, and you might fumble your phone while trying to open the app. The design of any emergency companion absolutely has to account for compromised fine motor skills. The app anticipates this exact panic with a brilliant user-centric failsafe, a mandatory 5-second countdown. It doesn't just blast an SOS signal the millisecond your thumb touches the screen. It forces a deliberate wait. Why? Because a false alarm triggered by a trembling hand could tie up actual, real-world emergency resources. So this little buffer is absolutely essential. It really all boils down to the difference between an accidental tap and an intentional hold. If you drop your phone and just bump the screen, nothing happens. The prompt specifically demands an intentional hold. You have to physically keep your finger on the screen for the whole duration to prove you actually mean it. It's a physical verification of your intent, filtering out those panic-induced errors. Now, right before any SOS confirmation actually goes out, the system runs these critical status checks in the background. Look at this. It tells us our emergency contact is ready, but actually location sharing needs permission. I love this radical transparency. It tells you exactly why a call for help might fail before you even try it. Plus, it confirms your dispatch isn't active yet and gives you a very clear cancel safely button just in case the situation abruptly resolves itself. And just to really drive the point home, right there at the very bottom of the SOS interface, it loudly repeats our most critical warning. In a real emergency, contact local emergency services. Even when you are deep inside the very module meant to summon help, it's reminding you that this technology is an amazing companion, but a direct line to 911 is your true lifeline. That is highly responsible design prioritizing human safety. Okay, let's take a breath and back out of the active emergency tools. We're back to our peacetime readiness dashboard. The app actively encourages you to keep preparing your household with this visual progress bar. Right now, our simulated preparedness checklist is sitting at 40% complete, with 60% left to go. It cleverly gamifies readiness, nudging you to come back, check out the preparedness tools, learn some first aid, and get that green bar to 100% long before a crisis ever hits. Because at the end of the day, being prepared isn't just about downloading some software. It is a fundamental mindset. This beta test shows us exactly how modern tech can structure and support that mindset. But the real responsibility? That ultimately lies with each of us. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. Look around your house today, or think about your daily commute. What tools, systems, or plans do you currently rely on to handle the unexpected? Are you actually ready when it matters most?